An update on Ryan Nemeth's lawsuit against AEW, the president of the company, Tony Khan, and former AEW, current WWE superstar CM Punk. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins exchanged heated words on Monday Night Raw following The Rock's offer last Friday on SmackDown. CM Punk confronts Logan Paul last night on Raw. Logan Paul also runs into AJ Styles backstage. We have brand new women's tag team champions after Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez won the titles last night. Lyra Valkyria is still the women's intercontinental champion, but she was attacked by Ivy Nile. Jey Uso attacks Grayson backstage. Several WWE events have been announced for WWE WrestleMania 42 week next year. Rey Mysterio is out of action indefinitely after a recent attack from the New Day. Pacman Jones appears on Monday Night Raw. TKO CEO Ari Emanuel reaches billionaire status. CMLL will see Konosuke Takeshita defend his New Japan Championship in the promotion this Friday. Several matches have been confirmed for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite, as well as next week's edition of Monday Night Raw. Plus, Carmella addresses her WWE future after her WWE contract expires. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with more reaction to the lawsuit filed by current TNA wrestling star Ryan Nemeth against AEW, its president Tony Khan, and former AEW World Champion and current WWE superstar CM Punk. Now, as we brought you the story the other day, earlier this month, Ryan Nemeth filed a lawsuit against AEW, Tony Khan, and Phil Brooks, also known as CM Punk, alleging that he experienced workplace harassment and stopped being used by AEW as a result of speaking out about that harassment. Breaking down the case on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer shared some doubts regarding Nemeth's chances of success in civil court. He said, quote, "I was aware of all the stuff as it was going on, and Nemeth was wronged," Meltzer said. "I don't know if that means he was wronged enough for a lawsuit. That's a debatable point. But having read a lot of the lawsuit, it almost reads as comedy," end quote. Meltzer referred to the summary of events that allegedly occurred as ridiculous, comparing Nemeth's cause and case to the concussion lawsuit against WWE that was dismissed years ago. While both cases had plaintiffs with legitimate complaints, Meltzer feels that the lawsuits were constructed in a way that delegitimized those claims. Quote, "Essentially, the argument is that Nemeth wasn't used because of Phil Brooks, Punk, being mad at him, which is true. It's probably why he wasn't used," Meltzer continued. "There is something there, but he basically said that Tony Khan hates him because he caused Tony Khan to lose Punk, and Tony Khan was in love with Punk and blames him for losing Punk," end quote. The weak point in Nemeth's argument, according to Meltzer, is that Jack Perry played a much larger role in Punk's departure. Punk's AEW contract was terminated by Khan after a disciplinary investigation recommended that course of action, and the situation had to do with Punk's altercation with Perry at AEW All In 2023, rather than the issues between Punk and Nemeth. Looking over the lawsuit, Meltzer also noticed incorrect dates in certain places, which could further hurt its chances of success. Now, going to Monday Night Raw last night, Cody Rhodes, of course, is still weighing up the offer from the final boss. WWE fans may not be any closer to really knowing what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson meant when he said he wanted Cody Rhodes' soul in his promo on SmackDown on Friday, but Seth Rollins let the undisputed WWE champion know on Raw that he wasn't happy that Rhodes would even entertain a thought of joining up with The Rock. Rollins interrupted Rhodes when he tried to let fans know what he thought the final boss meant. Rollins said he didn't stand beside Rhodes at WrestleMania 40 in the main event of Night 1 or help him during the Bloodline Rules match on Night 2 for Rhodes to join his former nemesis. Rollins said that the fact that Rhodes didn't slap The Rock in his face is a slap in Rollins' face. He asked if Rhodes would become The Rock's champion like he asked on Friday, just for small parts in Rock's movies. Rhodes told him he sounded awfully judgmental and that The Rock came for his soul because Rollins might already be compromised. Rhodes said he knows who Rollins is because he stabbed him in the back before Rhodes went off to have surgery. He mentioned the breakup of the Shield and even Rollins joining the Authority. However, he said Rollins was his Shield at WrestleMania last year and called him the MVP of the event. Rollins said he knew Rhodes was going to do what he wants, but wants Rhodes to face the man who beats him with one arm in the Hell in a Cell match, the man who helped crown champion at WrestleMania in the main event this year after Rollins wins the Elimination Chamber. Rollins told Rhodes he wasn't coming for his soul, but he was coming for his title. Now, we spoke about CM Punk earlier on. He had a confrontation with Logan Paul last night. Logan Paul and CM Punk came face-to-face in the ring to kick off Raw. Both are scheduled to compete for an opportunity at Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship at WrestleMania, entering the Elimination Chamber alongside Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, John Cena, and Damian Priest on March 1st. They became acquainted for the first time in a ring during the Royal Rumble match, with Paul eliminating Punk from the bout. It was Paul who came out first on Monday, kicking off Raw in Cincinnati by trashing the city in his home state of Ohio, referencing his underhanded victory over Rey Mysterio to qualify for the chamber match, and declaring his intent to defeat 3 doorknobs and John Cena and go on to face Rhodes for the title at WrestleMania. Punk's music hit to precede his own entrance, during which Paul continued to mock him from behind his back before asking Punk if he had a problem because he was jealous of him. Punk said that Paul is a kid who does stupid things for shock value, has no character or substance, and the fans deserve better, to which Paul joked about Punk's 2023 return only to suffer a torn triceps in his first major bout because he couldn't handle the spotlight. Punk said that he will win the chamber match, face Rhodes, and make history at WrestleMania. Meanwhile, Paul will be history and no one will think about him. He referenced Rhodes' segment with The Rock during SmackDown, with Punk saying Rhodes might feel like he needs to sell his soul to defeat him because he already knows that Punk is Satan himself, something that Paul will find out on Saturday. Paul then slapped Punk and retreated from the ring, with Punk warning him to run while he still can to close the segment. Now, it wasn't the only thing that Logan Paul did last night on Monday Night Raw. He also faced off with AJ Styles backstage during the broadcast. Logan Paul, as I mentioned, kicked off the February 24th episode of Raw, got into a confrontation and slapped CM Punk. Backstage, Paul bumped into AJ Styles. He noted that he thought Styles was going to retire when he got injured in October. Paul said that it sucked, that he had to come back and get embarrassed by him at the Royal Rumble. Styles admitted that he was embarrassed, but he bet that Paul couldn't do it again. Paul said that he didn't have time for that. He noted that he was glad that Styles hadn't given up yet, because if he was him, he probably would have called it. Paul told Styles that he would see him around. Karrion Kross is also shown watching in the background. And we have brand new women's tag team champions, with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez making history when they defeated Bianca Belair and Naomi to become the first ever 3-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champions in the main event of Raw. They secured a title shot last week after Belair and Naomi confronted them about allegedly attacking Jade Cargill. Cargill did not make an appearance during or after the match. As soon as the bell rang, the champions attacked their opponents. In the early part of the match, Belair and Naomi were in control, but Morgan and Rodriguez eventually turned things in their favor when Rodriguez tripped Belair when the referee had his back turned, sending Belair into the barricades. Belair set up for the KOD, but Rodriguez escaped and tagged in Morgan, who then delivered an assisted codebreaker. Dirty Dominic Mysterio got involved several times. First, he distracted the ref. Later in the match, he put Morgan's leg onto the rope when the ref wasn't looking. Belair tried to send Rodriguez into the announce table, but she reversed and sent Belair into the mat. Naomi rolled up Morgan, but she kicked out. She kicked Mysterio in the head and tried to fly off the ropes. Rodriguez sent her face first into the turnbuckle, allowing Morgan to get a pinfall. The new champion celebrated with Mysterio as Pyro went off. Morgan and Rodriguez previously held the tag titles on 2 occasions in 2023, though their combined reigns lasted just 55 days. Their win Monday night makes them the only women's tag team in WWE history to hold the gold on 3 separate occasions, including the old WWF Tag Team Championship for the women's division as well. Lyra Valkyria successfully defended her title last night, but she wasn't standing tall when all was said and done. Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria defended her title for the first time against a familiar face in Dakota Kai. By the time her entrance smoke cleared, Valkyria had retained her title, but she did not leave the ring unscathed thanks to one Ivy Nile. Kai found her feet early on in the match and slammed Valkyria into the apron before following up with a senton to the outside. The challenger continued to lay in offense, and even after Valkyria attempted a Northern Lights pin cover, Kai showed Cincinnati her resilience with a kickout. A back-and-forth contest led to an extended top rope fight between the two, and the ring rumbled as Valkyria delivered a stalling superplex onto Kai from the middle rope. Things nearly unraveled for the champion after Kai caught her middle rope dive with a super kick. A subsequent haluva kick and chiropractor failed to score a pinfall victory, but Kai quickly regrouped and delivered a resounding kick to a top rope bound Valkyria. Kai attempted another superplex to dethrone the champion, but Valkyria slipped through to cinch in the Nightwing onto Kai and retain the title. Following the match, Valkyria attempted to hold up Kai's hand in victory, but Kai quickly embraced Valkyria and left. She was walking up the ramp. Nile struck and quickly dispatched the Damage Control member before making a beeline to the champion. Nile tore Valkyria from the rope she was celebrating on before landing a brutal suplex onto her. The segment ended with a shot of Nile holding up the title with a hungry look on her face. Now, Jey Uso, he got involved with A-Town Down Under, and possibly once again, there is dissension between this tag team. For almost a year now, there have been signs of dissension between Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, collectively known as A-Town Down Under. At NXT Vengeance Day, just over a week ago, the issues nearly came to a head as they had an NXT Championship three-way match against Obafemi, which saw Waller outright cost Theory the win. However, they've remained a unit since then and appeared on last night's Raw, with the problem showing no signs of stopping. Backstage, A-Town Down Under bumped into Jey Uso, with both of them initially critical of Uso's chances against Gunther at WrestleMania. However, as become a common occurrence, Waller took over the conversation, leaving Theory to stand by and watch. As Jey Uso responded to Waller with his yeet catchphrase, Theory actually yeeted along with him, much to the disgust of Waller. As Waller began to question Theory, Uso superkicked Waller before yeeting one last time and walking away. Theory did check on Waller afterwards, but once again their differences got them into trouble. Now, several events have been confirmed for WrestleMania 42 week next year. Now, this includes NXT Stand and Deliver. NXT has established a tradition of holding Stand and Deliver events ahead of WrestleMania shows, with WWE gearing up to host NXT Stand and Deliver 2025 on April 19th, ahead of WrestleMania 41 Saturday. With The Rock announcing WrestleMania 42 for April 11th and 12th, 2026 in New Orleans, WWE has shared a statement on the event's announcement. The statement officially announces NXT Stand and Deliver 2026, which along with Raw, SmackDown, WWE World, and the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame ceremony will all emanate from New Orleans. Now, Rey Mysterio, got a bit of an update on him and when he's going to be back on WWE television. Don't expect to see the Master of the 619 anytime soon. On the February 24th edition of Raw, The New Day teamed up and defeated the LWO duo of Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. During the segment, Michael Cole explained the absence of Toro and Wilde's LWO leader, Rey Mysterio. Cole stated that Mysterio is out of action indefinitely after being attacked by The New Day on the February 10th edition of the show. The attack from Kingston and Woods came after Mysterio's loss to Logan Paul. Of course, we get any more details on this, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. Now, former TNA World Tag Team Champion, that's right, Pacman Jones was on Raw last night. Former TNA World Tag Team Champion and former NFL cornerback Pacman Jones was in attendance for the February 24th episode of Monday Night Raw, which emanated from Cincinnati, Ohio. Pacman played 8 seasons with the Cincinnati Bengals. Pacman is a former TNA Tag Team Champion, winning the titles with R-Truth, Ron Killings, and never losing inside of a TNA ring. Now, Ari Emanuel, the CEO of TKO as well as Endeavor Group Holdings, he has been added to the Bloomberg Billionaire Index, marking his status as a billionaire. Emanuel is the CEO of TKO Group Holdings and Endeavor Group Holdings, which is the primary shareholder in the combined company with the UFC and WWE. TKO has nearly doubled in value over the past 12 months, according to Bloomberg, with the share price increasing by 48% in the last year. TKO is now valued at over $27 billion. The group recently added professional bull riders to its portfolio. Emanuel is one of the backers behind Elon Musk's $97.4 billion unsolicited bid to buy the non-profit that controls OpenAI. Emanuel has been referenced on television by Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, who is also a TKO shareholder and on the member of board of directors. Now, this coming Friday, it will be the debut of Konosuke Takeshita and CMLL. Last week, CMLL announced that several AEW stars would be heading south of the border in March, with Taya Valkyrie being announced on March 7th and Hologram and Commander revealed as Mystico and Mascara Dorada's opponents for an upcoming CML event on March 21st. But perhaps the biggest reveal was that AEW International and New Japan Never Openweight champion Konosuke Takeshita was also heading to Arena Mexico, though unlike his co-workers, a date for his arrival wasn't revealed. That changed on Monday morning. Taking to X, CMLL announced that Takeshita would be making his Arena Mexico debut this Friday. While Takeshita won't be putting the AEW International Championship on the line, he will be making his second defense of the Never Openweight bout, defending it against longtime CMLL star Angel Di Oreo. Takeshita versus Angel D'Orio represents the first time the Never Openweight Championship has been defended in Mexico, in addition to Takeshita's first ever match on Mexican soil. This match comes at a busy time for Takeshita as he's set to defend the AEW International Championship against Orange Cassidy this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. The winner will secure a match against Kenny Omega at AEW Revolution on March 9th. Now, speaking of AEW, more matches have been confirmed for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite. AEW TNT champion Daniel Garcia will team with FTR against Undisputed Kingdom, that being Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, on the February 26th episode of AEW Dynamite. The match was made official by AEW President Tony Khan on social media. Next week on Raw, we'll have several title matches. The War Raiders and American Made will clash again. On the February 10th episode of Monday Night Raw, the War Raiders defeated American Made via disqualification to retain the WWE World Tag Team Championships. The Creeds have continued to target the titles ever since. Ivy Nile said that the Creed brothers were coming for the titles on the February 24th episode of WWE Raw. They then got into a backstage brawl with the War Raiders. The broadcast team later confirmed that the War Raiders would defend the titles against American Made on the March 3rd episode of Monday Night Raw. During Monday's episode of Raw, The New Day said they would be absent the following week as they were going on vacation to Costa Rica, but we will have also a Women's World Championship match with Rhea Ripley defending the championship against Io Sky. Finally, Carmella has addressed her WWE departure. Former SmackDown Women's Champion and Tag Team Champion Carmella has commented on news of her departure from WWE. Last week, Fightful broke the news that Carmella's contract with WWE had recently come to an end, with her then being moved to the alumni section of WWE's website roster page soon after. Carmella had been absent from WWE television since March 2023, when she took time away due to pregnancy, giving birth in November of that year, and dealing with health complications afterwards. Carmella has now commented on the news that emerged this past week, taking to Instagram to say, quotes, "Some news broke last week and I just wanted to let you know that I've seen all of your texts, tweets, messages and DMs and oh my god, you guys are just the best and I'm so grateful for you and everything you've been saying about Carmella and my career and I'm so blessed, so thank you. I know there's a lot of questions and uncertainty around everything. I'll be going on a podcast later this week answering some of those questions, telling my side because I have a lot to say about the situation, so yeah, stay tuned. I'll give you the details when I can, and I can't wait to fill you guys in. Of course, if we get any more details on this, we'll let you know in a future video. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.